Hey guys, this is Milo with RMS Customs and Fab. Today I want to go and show you our newest project that we have going on in the shop. We've got an 88 Chrysler Conquest. This is a full-on build. Our customer, Jason, was looking for somebody to do one of his dream cars as far as making a modern, classic, timeless car. So he reached out to us, and we told him we can definitely do that for him. So what we ended up doing is we ended up going with the twin turbo LS. So I know those Dodge guys might be hating us not sticking with the factory 4-cylinder turbo on there or putting a 2JZ, which everybody does, but at the end of the day we want to do something different, something that's should be pretty cool. It's been done, people have put LSs in here and stuff, but I don't know if they've had people put twin turbos. So will be a 427 twin turbo LS motor. We actually integrated, we got rid of the whole front suspension on this. We got rid of the shock towers. We got rid of the whole suspension, the factory style suspension on this, because that was one of the downfalls on this car. So what we ended up doing is we actually got a Detroit Speed front aluminum frame kit. And then once we did some measuring on the factory frames and the positioning, and then I actually had aluminum frame here on one of our other builds, and we just measured it out and it actually ended up working. So we just ended up modifying the frame rails. We lifted up a little bit, but we also made them stronger because these cars weren't really made to handle or support so much on the frame rails. So we ended up using the Detroit Speed aluminum frame kit. So it's all basically, Corvette geometry with the front rack and pinion set up on it, which just that's one of the biggest, things on these cars is when you're trying to upgrade, is you want to be able to have the whole rack and pinion on this, which people usually do. I believe it's like the S197s, if I'm not mistaken. They'll usually convert that on from the Nissan, convert that and put this over on this cars. But we wanted to do something cool, something more modern, something that's going to be able to drive and handle really well, speed it up, handle turns like no other. So Corvette style front spindles. It's gonna I think we'll end up using Woodward brakes on this thing. So also it's gonna have we're gonna be running about 315s on the front and 335s in the back. So we are gonna be stretching out the front fenders and the quarters on this car. We're also going to be fabricating the inner fender wells on this car as well. So we position the motor. We'll have electric brake booster on this car. We will also going to have we're going to be having a custom, we're going to be fabricating up the radiator support on this. So we're going to go get away with this radiator support setup, and then we'll end up doing our own. We will be putting a bigger radiator in here. It is going to have a radiator with the AC condenser, factory as far as factory style looking. But at the end of the day, we wanted to see whether we're going to go to air or water to air. We decided to go to air to air setup on this. So each turbo is going to have its own air to air intercooler. Then it would come in and then Y split it into the throttle body itself. So that would help us out with the space that we're going to need once we do the modification on the radiator support and positioning the radiator back. Because once we have the accessory drive system on the car, it's going to push everything so much back. So we wanted to see if our be able to have everything fit in and not be so crammed up in the front. So, but other than that, that's what we have going on the front. Now let's go ahead and let's work our way down in the rear. This is another heavy modified suspension that we've been doing on this car too. So what we ended up doing is we got rid of all the factory stuff from the car came with. So we got rid of the weakest link on the car, which was the whole drivetrain in the back. We got rid of the whole independent suspension on it, which had. So what we ended up doing is we ended up getting an Art Morrison universal chassis or independent suspension on it, and then we ended up doing fabbing our own frame rails on it. As you can see, we're working on the rear floor section of the car, which that's where we're working on it right now. But We just got finished actually welding up all the frame rails on the rear and everything. So now this suspension from the Armorson, I believe it's based off like 2015, 2017 rear Camaro suspension. It does have a Dana 60 in the back, so it's made to handle the horsepower that we're looking for, because it is going to make a bunch of power, so, and torque. So it's going to be definitely making some good power for sure. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and raise up the car up, and then that way we can go and show you the magic that's underneath the car. Okay, so now that we have the vehicle up here on the rack, I'm going to go over with everything as far as what we've done. We went ahead, like I said, we built the rear frame section on this car. What we ended up doing is we wanted to kind of tie it in, like since it's a unibody car, we wanted to make sure and tie it in. I could try to reinforce everything as much as we could. So we ended up putting I believe a 3/16 plate or 1/4 inch plate on the front. So we welded in the frame rails. We put some gussets in there, front on the sides. These frame rails we actually ended up building ourselves. We ended up doing some fish plates. Guy Robert ended up, our CAD guy, designed the stuff for us, and then make sure we fit everything in place, welded everything, TIG welded everything. We found once we positioned everything on from the Armorson chassis, as far as what we wanted to be, the wheelbase, the ride height and everything, then we were able to weld everything into place. And then we ended up, after that, just created some templates. And again, my in-house CAD guy, Robert, with our fabricator Mitch, which he's the one that's been doing all the work on this car, he ended up giving those plates. They ended up getting together, designing all the stuff on Fusion 360, and we just send all of our stuff to Send Cut Send so that we can get everything cut and be able to weld everything in place. So we just finished welding everything. Yesterday was on a jig, the whole car was on a jig, so now it's actually going to be able to, for the first time, be as a roller, which is awesome. So we're excited, we can't wait to see it on the ground and be a roller, see how everything's going to look like. So but at the end of the day, like I said, the shocks on the front and rear, it's all JRI shocks on it that's going to have. So it's going to be single adjustables, be able to support, handle everything that we're going to throw on the car itself. Again, we're going to be doing a custom fuel tank on this setup. We'll probably end up, because there's so much weight that we added on the car in the back is steel. My main concern is going to be rear end heavy. So instead of trying to do like a stainless gas tank and stuff like that, we'll probably end up most likely just build a custom aluminum tank on there. So we got to figure out how to start removing some of the weight in the back, so that way we just don't keep adding more and more weight as we go on building the car. So this car it's going to have the flares that it has right now, but we're going to stretch them out. So we're going to make them wider and not be so much in your face, but it'll be subtle to the point where, like, okay, I see what they did, you know, but at the same time, where did they do it, you know? So we're also going to be doing a setup on this car. It'll have a diffuser setup. Well, everything's it's gonna be basically an 88 car, but if they decided to remake this car, what would 2026 be, you know? So at least we're gonna try to do the RMS version of it, and then pull it up as far as make it as more modern, to where the customer's goal is he's gonna fly out here, he wants to get in the car, and then he wants to drive back to Michigan. So from Michigan, he's gonna go drive the car from Texas to Michigan and make sure that it's 100% reliable. At the end of the day, that's his main goal, to make sure that, you know, hey, I build the car, I have X amount of horsepower, I have the car that's fully reliable. I know it's not gonna, you know, I can take it from New York to LA and have so much fun with it, and at the end of the day, you know, still do what I wanted to do, which is beat on it, you know, enjoy it, and at the same time look sexy, you know. So but yeah, so this is a really cool car. We're getting into that era where a lot of the 80 cars are starting to be very, very popular. And the reason behind that is because, you know, my generation, I'm 45, so my generation is coming up to that age where, like, yeah, 80 cars or 90 cars, they're there's a car where you would see, you know, like, hey, there goes an IROC, hey, there goes, you know, there goes a square body, you know, Chevy pickup. And so back then you would see them, but now that as we're older and we can afford it, we're wanting to recreate it, but make it more modern so that we can still enjoy it on a daily basis. So, you know, and at that time of our lives now, it's gone to a point where we could actually afford to do those things. So at the end of the day, these customers are finding these cars and they want to go back to their childhood, well, what they remember back then, and be able to do the modern stuff, you know? So, but yeah, that's basically it. This is gonna be a really cool car, especially because it's a Japanese car, but at the same time, we're gonna mix the domestic with it, you know? So, but we're really excited about this car because I've seen a lot of the, you know, Mitsubishi Stereons or the Conquest and stuff done, and it's cool and stuff. Obviously, everybody sees the 2JZ on here, on it, you know, and stuff like that. We just, you know, keep the Japanese stuff up because this is a Chrysler Conquest. We figured we'll keep it domestic. You know what I mean? Maybe if it was a Mitsubishi Stereon, even though it's the same car, but not really technically by VIN, right? But we wanted to see about maybe, hey, let's keep it domestic. Cause it is a Plymouth, so Chrysler. So let's keep it domestic. At least it has a Dana 60. You know what I mean? Chrysler, Plymouth, Dodge. But at the end, this yeah, this is gonna be a pretty cool, fun project to do. So I can't wait for you guys to keep seeing the progress on this car. I can't wait for the progress to continue. You know, like I said, we're doing right now the rear floor section of it. Then we're gonna start doing the tubs on the car. We're gonna build all that stuff out. Then from there, then we're gonna start stretching out the quarters. And again, you know, we're gonna do the front bumper. It's all gonna be designed, CAD design and all that stuff. So it's gonna be pretty cool. Can't wait for you guys to check it out. We're working on the rendering right now, which we already have some options, you know, but we just got to get with the customer, narrow it down, making sure we're all on the same page, and go from there. So once the final rendering gets approved, I'll make sure I'll throw it out there for, you know, so that way you guys can start seeing it and hopefully maybe give it some you know, guys' input and see what you guys think, you know. So make sure you guys comment, let us know what you guys think. You know, we love to hear what you guys think, you know. So again, we're building something that I don't think we've seen, especially with this type of caliber work. Yeah, there's been drag cars, you know, ladder bar cars, you know, but as far as putting this much extent work on suspension, geometry, and everything else, I don't think I've seen one on this car. So this is pretty cool. We do a lot of domestics, like Camaro, Mustang, Chevy pickups, and stuff like that. You know, as we do the resto-mod, but to be able to do a resto-mod on a more of a like an import domestic car, that's pretty cool. You know what I mean? I think that's gonna really open the doors for a lot of other cars as far as on the newer car scene. So, and that way people can actually see what we're able to do, the caliber that my guys are able to do, you know, and showcase our craftsmanship. So then again, so stay tuned. Make sure you guys follow us, hit that subscribe button, and stay tuned for the updates.